Welcome to That 80 Show. Whichever way you like your Wang Chunged, we can do it. How are you, Dori?
Wow, I was not ready for the use of Wang in that way. Just give me a second.
It's more so,
okay now.
It's more so your chunging. I'm fine with Wang. I don't want it chunged. Or maybe I do want it chunged. Depends what chung means.
I don't have a Wang, so I can't actually weigh in on this.
Right. Okay. So this is the show. It's going to be This Is That 80 Show, your favorite show about the 80s. Dori, you said you had something to say about that song because I have something to say about it besides Wangs and Chungs.
Why don't you go first? Because mine's not good.
Okay. Well, listen, mine's long. My story, not my Wang.
What, your Wang or the story?
I picked out that song to start the show with. Because of an article I found on our favorite website. Basically, the producer of the show is Cracked, and it's about the cringiest lyrics of the 80s, right? In there, take your baby by the hand and make her do a high handstand. Okay, then take your baby by the heel and do the next thing that you feel. Oh boy. Oh boy. There is another line that starts with take your baby by the wrist. And there's how does that end? There's a whole bunch of cringe-worthy lyrics here, Dori. Do you want to hear from Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince? Parents just don't understand. And this girl's hand was steadily moving up my thigh. She had opened up 3 buttons on her third shirt so far. I almost had a heart attack that day. Come to find out the girl was a 12-year-old runaway.
Holy moly.
He was 20 at the time, so we don't want to be...
I mean, R. Kelly vibes, sorry.
Very much so. Very much so. The power station, some like it hot. And this one's weird. We want to multiply. Are you going to do it? I know you're qualified. Are you going to do it? Don't be so circumscribed. Circumscribed.
Not circumcised.
Are you going to do it? That would have been a great misheard lyric. Probably one that I heard.
Don't be so circumcised. This theme is just not going away.
No, it's not. I sense this is going to be a long hour.
That is my least favorite Wang Chung song.
Of the 2 Wang Chung songs?
3 of the 3.
Yeah, right.
There are 3.
Right.
No, really, there are 3. I love the other 2. I don't know what it is about it. I hear it and I want to throw things. And it reminds me of my least favorite Aha song, Touchy. They've got a similar sound.
I know what it could be. And it's something I'm going to talk about later in the show. It could be the keytar. Remember the keytar?
I mean, who can forget?
All right. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about the keytar. Okay. And I think it is the keytar that is bothering you. Dori, do you want some 80s video game news?
Always.
So this week is the 43rd anniversary. Very odd one to remember, but of the video game Pac-Man. All right?
Loved it.
Love Pac-Man. Love Pac-Man. And what they've done, specifically for the 43rd anniversary, is release a 2,650-piece set, a Lego set of Pac-Man arcade game. So you can build a Pac-Man cabinet arcade game that you can crank and it actually works.
OMG. But you know why they didn't celebrate the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man?
How come?
Because we were all hiding in our homes that year.
Yes. Okay.
So maybe they had plans and then everyone had to stop working for a few months.
Right. Okay.
And that's probably what happened.
That's some good
But
thinking.
that is so cool.
You got to see this thing.
I want it.
You got to see this thing.
It is $270.
Yeah. That price is escalating. This is they call it the Lego Premium set, It only if you're a Lego like VIP member can you actually buy this. So it won't be in stores. It's for absolute geek Lego collectors, Lego icons. That's what it's called. It does go on general sale on the 4th, but it's like going to be limited edition. But you actually build this little thing out of Lego, and
oh my god! And then there's a little animation on the page of them cranking the crank thing.
They crank the crank thing. You crank it, and as you crank that thing, little Lego mans and all the little Pac-Man and the little blinkies and the ghosts go around. So you can it's got a little joystick,
buttons. It doesn't need batteries.
No.
Are we saying it doesn't need batteries?
No, it's for crankers. So it's got a joystick. So you don't crank your joystick. You just crank the crank. You leave the joystick. The joystick doesn't work. And that's what happens if you crank too much. You break your joystick. Right? Mm-hmm. So then that's what happens.
And then you definitely won't be Wang Chunging tonight.
No, you won't. And so, okay, that makes sense why that makes sense. So what I did find is that it is the 43rd anniversary. So I got some factoids about Pac-Man, Dori. Or should I call them Pactoids?
Oh, no.
Right. Here are some Pactoids about the Pac-Man video game. Oh my God, I just want to go spend 10 cents now. I think that's how much it costs to play an arcade game back in the day.
I'm trying to remember when I was playing at the Panburgers on the corner. We used to go after school. My mom would pick me up from primary school, and we'd go to Panburgers, which made the best hamburgers to this day, and don't exist anymore, of course. And they had a Pac-Man.
Wow.
And they had a few other things. I remember they had, I think, Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
But I was only interested in the Pac-Man, and I would ask my mom for all the 10 cents. No, it was 20 cents. It was 20 cents at that place. And I had to get the 20-cent pieces. Oh, man.
Couple of things to unpack there, right?
Good times.
So let's unpack that. So I think maybe the secret to Panburgers was
the Pac-Man.
Oh, no, maybe they made it in a pan instead of a grill. Right?
I don't know, but they were the most delicious burgers ever, and I've never been able to.
How much grease were?
Get over it.
How greasy were they?
No, they weren't greasy. No, they were quite simple.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's come the closest, and people are going to really judge me for this. I'll tell you what's come the closest to a Panburger, but even though it's the closest, it's still miles off, is the McDonald's cheeseburger. Is the closest to what the Panburger was. But the Panburger was 100 times tastier and used real meat.
That
with no plastic in it.
100% beef. So
yes.
Panburger was a Panburger cheesy.
You could get it either with or without the cheese. They were both fantastic.
I used to go to a burger place. They wrapped the burger in cheese, and then that's how they grilled the burger. So it's cheese infused. Right?
Okay, that sounds greasy.
Yeah, that was greasy. So so your Panburger wasn't greasy. The bun maintained structural integrity throughout.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Describe the sauces.
It was it was a unique sauce. I can't explain it. I think it was like a pink sauce as opposed to a tomato sauce.
I knew it was pink.
It was just unique. It was unique and delicious and perfect.
I knew
and
it.
There was gherkin.
I knew there was a gherkin. I knew it.
There's always a gherkin.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So shout out to Panburgers. Where was Panburgers?
Panburgers was on the corner of Louis Botha Avenue in Savoy, in Johannesburg, which is still nearby where I live, kinda.
Yeah.
Don't live too far away. But yeah, we used to go there, and it was, the whole corner shop was Panburgers. And it was a kind of place where it was a takeaway counter type thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wish I had photos.
No.
I wish I had photos.
You don't need photos. Because in everyone's,
it's in my brain.
Everyone's mind's eye right now, we know we got listeners all over the world, majority are ex-South Africans. And we all had a Panburgers, right? We all had.
And I'd love to hear from you if you actually ever had Panburgers, because I think that was the only branch. I don't think it was a franchise.
Okay.
So if anybody ever, and I mean, I have met people through the years who had it, and to this day they're like, "Oh, that was the best. Wasn't that the best?" So I'm not alone in how I feel.
I knew there was a pink sauce. So
yes,
we didn't have. I don't recall a Panburgers. I didn't have. I didn't have a Panburgers place myself, right? But I do remember. Okay. I don't know how we came upon this. My family was in retail. Things happened. There was a stage in our life as kids that we had wimpy burgers, wimpy burger patties. I don't know how it came to be. We had them in our house.
Were they better than they are now? Because they're really horrible now. Sorry, Wimpy. I know you're not going to sponsor the show now. Damn it.
Wimpy is very specific. Their burger is very specific. Okay, and it's probably evolved. So I suppose it is different because, I mean, there were different standards of what you could call meat then versus now. But we had wimpy, and it wasn't like, because I know like you can go like Steers, for example, you can buy Steers patties that they say is like the Steers they have. These were from Wimpy. They were probably destined for a Wimpy, and they ended up in our house. I don't ask questions. As long as there wasn't blood on the box, I didn't really interrogate it too much. Okay. And so it was that thing of when you'd be like, "Oh, Mom," because we didn't have McDonald's. Like kids do it with McDonald's now. But like, "Oh, Mom, I want Wimpy on the way." "Oh, we got hamburgers at home better than Wimpy." It's like, we're right. We got Wimpy hamburgers at home. So I can't argue with that fact.
Right.
That was I saw a funny meme on Mother's Day. South Africa was Mother's Day 2 weeks ago. And somebody posted a meme up. And he said, "My mom asked me where I'm taking her for lunch. And I told her we got better lunch at home."
So good. Do you use that line on your kid ever, or do you just say, "No, we're going for the takeout"?
Because when I say it, I'm like, "Oh God," because like it's like, "Oh, why am I saying this? What have I become?"
Because I use that line all the time.
Yeah. Oh, we got better than that at home.
I can make you a perfectly good toasted cheese at home. You do not need the wimpy toasted cheese.
No, and you can't. You see, the thing is, I had a Portuguese mother, so it was better.
Exactly.
It was better at home. So now back to your Panburgers, right? I was telling number one fan of the show, cousin Louis the other day, that myself and his brother, when we were kids, were playing Double Dragon arcade game, right? Now it must have been later because I distinctly remembered being R2 a game. R2 a game, Dori?
Yes. Oh my God, that's like for the rich kids.
Oh God! And it wasn't at a cafe. It was at like a feast, a Portuguese festival type of thing. And so they obviously jacked up the prices. And he and I had locked up the game where we just went to go change. Must have been about 100 Rand because I remember lots of R2 coins. And we just locked up Double Dragon. We almost finished it that day. We almost finished it. Because that was the custom, right? It's like if you wanted to stay on, you got to put your coin. And if you wanted to play, you came and put your coin next. That's how you booked. I'm playing next.
Exactly.
Next.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I got a lot of coins. You got to wait. So it doesn't matter. My coin's next. Go and play." Those were the rules. And speaking about our kids, the other day, school tells us, "Oh no, we got to bring something to school." It's like, "Oh God, okay, got to bring something to school." And it was kind of like on the way to school, there were no garage shops on the way. And I know in Linden, on the corner, there is a store. So it's like an old school cafe, right? Like in the UK, I think they call them bodegas in the UK. But like just a store. Yeah. So I go inside and my daughter comes out. She's like 12 and a half. She goes, "What kind of shop is that?" She goes, "It's got everything, but it's not a supermarket." I said, "That's a cafe. That's a corner cafe. That's what it is." Yeah. We had them all over the place. And it's like, now it's unique. She's like, "What is this place? I don't understand it." Oh. He didn't give you change. He gave you chappies. What is happening here? What economic system is this?
I mean, as good as the Panburgers were, I always used to get the chips from the corner cafe across from the Panburgers, which were the best slap chips ever. I'm pretty sure it was Portuguese run. it also was one of those cafes that had everything and made the best slug chips.
How greasy were they? I'm
They were super greasy.
Don't even bother with the packet. Don't even bother, because within 4 chips, the grease and the salt and the vinegar has just ripped through that packet.
And the vinegar was the best. You can't replicate that vinegar. You can't buy that vinegar.
I think they've changed vinegar since the 80s. Because
I think so too.
I remember there was a salt and vinegar chip that you used to get. Like, honestly, after eating a packet of those, your tongue, like, both shrunk and engorged. Your tongue was so big, it was white. You had blisters all the inside of your mouth. And that brand is still available, and they're not as salt and vinegary anymore. I'm telling you, they changed vinegar. They changed that was 80s vinegar. 80s,
I know exactly which brand you're talking about.
Yep. 80s vinegar stripped paint. Okay. Vinegar today does not do that. Right. So that is a detour.
No, we still haven't got to the Pac-Man facts.
The Pactoids.
Pactoids.
Okay, so do you know why? This is something they discovered in this anniversary thing while they're busy building. Why Lego and Pac-Man was a perfect partnership is because the creator of Pac-Man, okay, game designer Toru Iwatani, he loved Lego so much, and the main color of Lego is yellow. That's why he made Pac-Man yellow. That's a Pactoid. Okay.
That's a Pactoid.
That is a Pactoid. Pac-Man has that shape. He got that shape. He's eating a pizza, and he took out a slice, and he said, "Isn't that cute?" It's a cute little thing. That's why he's got it. He was also inspired by the phrase to call it Pac-Man is because in Japanese, chomp is paku. So he is paku, he's chomping. That's what he did.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. They targeted Pac-Man at female players. They said it was always meant for female players. But this
was the only game I cared about.
Okay. Here's where it gets problematic, though. He said, when you think about things women like, you think about fashion or fortune telling or food or dating boyfriends. So I decided to theme the game around eating. Nothing problematic about it.
I've never thought of Pac-Man as an eating game.
Really? But he eats.
No. He hunts them and he destroys them by eating them, but I've never thought of it as eating, necessarily.
Okay.
I don't know.
No.
He vanquishes them.
Okay, fine. With his mouth. Much like you would vanquish a burger from Panburgers.
Exactly.
Anyway, so the thing is, he revealed this in 2010. It just shows how we were still okay with statements like this in 2010. Obviously, his sentiment was in the 70s and 80s. Bit problematic. The ghosts. Do you know those little ghosts? They got names. Do you know what their names are?
Yeah.
Blinky.
There was Inky.
Yep.
Blinky.
Yep.
I can't remember the others. I remember Inky and Blinky.
Pinky.
Pinky. The pink one, logically.
And Clyde.
Inky, Binky, Blinky, and Clyde.
And here's the thing. I don't know this.
That's so random.
Each one of them has their own routine. So they each behave differently. Okay? So Blinky chases Pac-Man. Pinky attempts to ambush him. So Pinky hides. Inky is random. Inky follows Pac-Man. So it depends which way you go. Inky will adapt. And Clyde will get closer to the player and then flee to the bottom corner, cutting off your escape routes. So that's how kids would beat Pac-Man, because they just figure out the routines of each of them, and that's how you clocked it.
But I did not know this until right now.
Right now. That's what you say. You clocked it. That's how people clock Pac-Man.
Yeah.
The game was a kind of a success, only became huge when it launched in America. It was originally going to be called Pac-Man, but I'm pretty sure you can take yourself to any arcade or cafe in the 80s and a miscreant kid with a marker pen or spray paint is changing the name. Hence the change to Pac-Man.
That's something you would have done.
Yeah, we would have all done it. And also the creator of Pac-Man, there was a movie with Adam Sandler a few years ago called Pixels, where video game characters attack Earth or aliens.
I watched it. Apparently it's terrible.
I didn't hate it, but the creator of Pac-Man, he was in it because they get him.
Okay.
Yeah, they get him because the Pac-Man becomes huge and now. So he's actually in it and he has to kill Pac-Man. He has to kill his creation.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Very dark. I suppose it is, eh? in this, it actually brings it up and he says he got a cameo as an arcade repairman, but let's just forget about all of that whole movie. Why do people hate it?
It was a flop, hey?
It probably was a flop.
I don't know. I've only heard bad things, which is why I haven't made an effort to watch it.
I didn't hate it. In the same thing, the sequel of Pac-Man was Miss Pac-Man. And they try to make her sexy. She had legs and arms and knee-high boots. So that, Dori, was a couple of Pactoids. And if you want to buy the Lego Pac-Man arcade, it's theirs. You can buy it and you can play, or you can go to your. I think the moral of the story more than anything is if you find a corner cafe, go in, sniff it, walk out smelling like a Russian. Not a Russian person, a Russian. If you don't, because that might have sounded weird, because I don't think you get Russians anywhere else in the world.
Oh, don't you?
I don't know.
We only call them Russians?
Maybe we only call them Russians. So if you don't know what you're talking about, is that in South Africa we have a sausage called a Russian, right? And you don't ask what's in it.
It's like a Frankfurter.
It's like a Frankfurter,
but bigger.
Yes, it's
bigger than a Frankfurter.
Predominant,
it's
thick, grilled. Or fried. No, is it fried or grilled? Fried. It's fried.
Fried, for sure.
You don't ask. It claims to have predominantly pork. I don't know if I would. You don't ask. There's knuckles.
Don't ask what's in the Russian.
You don't ask what's in the Russian. Okay, don't ask what's in Russian chips. Oh my God.
Eat the kind.
If I had to eat a Russian right now, I would burst into acid. My acid reflux of my 40-year-old stomach.
I have such a craving for a Russian and slap chips right now. It's not even funny. I don't know where I'm going to get it. Where am I going to get it?
We need it so bad. Now, what is wrong with us?
Damn.
So, but you'll walk out the cafe smelling, and if you don't smell like them, like the people who work there, then it's not authentic.
It's not real. It's not real, no. Doesn't count.
It's like, I was in there 2 minutes. Why do I smell like this?
I just went in there to buy some batteries. Damn it.
And not even just batteries for like a torch, like a car battery, because you could buy a car battery. It's just available.
A car battery and a tin of condensed milk.
Oh God, I love cafes. They were the best. They were literally the cornerstone of our society back in the 80s. Literally. and your parents would know. They'd say, oh, go buy a loaf of bread, and they'd give you like 20 rand. You're like, oh, loaf of bread is 15 rand. A loaf of bread is 5 rand. I'm spending it.
No, back then it was like 2 rand 50. Come on.
Okay, so they give you a 5 rand note. Go in, you go, oh, 3 rand. I'm going to buy so many of those Wicks chewing gum sticks. I'm going to like look up at the porn magazines on the top shelf and the nudie mags, but I'm just like going to glance, pretend I don't see them. I'm going to buy so many like kids cigarette sweets and like walk down the street pretending I'm smoking my cigarettes. And the peanuts. Oh, I'd like some peanuts, please. Yeah, just take them with a scoop. Your hands God gave you 2 scoops.
Everyone else has touched them.
Use the scoops on the end of your arms. Use those scoops. Get out of here. Get out. Oh, how we do miss them. Dori, if I had to say to you 80s people who you would like to skinny dip with, there are so many.
Now or in the 80s?
I think there is quite a good cross-section because I know a lot of the ones you do like and I know what they look like now.
Yes.
And both are, I think there's a lot of overlap. But I mean, where do you start?
Either time will work.
Yeah. I mean, J-Bay, Morton.
J-Bay, better now.
So Morton,
many. For sure.
So many. Okay.
Yeah. And for you?
David Hasselhoff, Mr. T. Anyway. No way. We could talk about for probably half an hour. Neither of us would say Michael Jackson. Neither of us would say Michael Jackson.
Oh, God, no. No.
Of all people, Jane Fonda did. Jane Fonda describes seeing skinny Michael Jackson naked after going skinny dipping with him in the 1980s. A headline you did not wake up this morning expecting to hear. So,
wow. I mean, we've all seen Jane Fonda naked, but Michael Jackson?
And Jane Fonda was it, right? Jane Fonda had the fitness video. She was it. She was friends with Michael Jackson. This is early 80s. Michael Jackson had just released Off the Wall. So this was kind of his first solo album, 4 top 10 singles. She was just coming out of the back of 9 to 5. But there was a 20-year age difference, right? He was about 20. He was in his 20s. She was in her 40s. And somehow he ends up at her lakeside cabin, right? Just hanging out. Nothing naughty, just hanging out. And he suggests, let's go for a skinny dip. Michael Jackson.
Hang on, is it just the two of them?
Just the two of them, right?
Okay.
It doesn't specify, actually. It doesn't specify. He came and visited me when we were shooting on Golden Pond, and I had a little cottage right on the lake. But it doesn't, so maybe there were other people. She doesn't specify. Anyway.
Okay.
So off they go for a skinny dip. She sees him naked. She says he was very skinny. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to die young, so I've got to have all these experiences. That's what he said to her.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. They remained friends. They remained friends through all the years and all the controversies. And she skinny dipped with Michael Jackson.
That is a story.
It is a story. It's called padding. It's time filler. Yeah, not the...
I've skinny dipped with people, but no one famous.
I feel it's time to go somewhere we haven't gone in a while. Wham Corner.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. We used to have Wham Corner. It was a little corner where we'd go and just talk about Wham. Play a Wham song and talk about Wham. And we're going to go into Wham Corner because finally we have a date on something. They've given us a date.
Oh.
Yeah, all will be revealed in Wham Corner. Emerging from Wham Corner like a Andrew Ridgley shaped butterfly. That song has got some of the best lyrics in a song ever. I love it.
As opposed to the bad lyrics we spoke about earlier in the show.
Oh, no. So we listen to Everything She Wants. If my best isn't good enough, then how can it be good enough for two? I love it. And then after all that, so he goes through this thing. If you tell me that you're having a baby, I'll tell you if I'll tell you that I'm happy if you want me to. He says, I don't even know that I love you. After all of this, I put up with so much shit from you. Everything she wants is everything she sees. And he goes, I don't even know if I love you. Phenomenal.
I mean, why is he with this girl in the first place? I mean, he wasn't really with a girl. No. But why is he with this girl in the first place?
Well, I think it's a relatable thing. In your 20s, you date people and you go, why am I dating you? I don't mean, you're terrible to me. I don't even like you.
It's so typical. Like he lost the one he loved in Careless Whisper, and then he's stuck with the one he doesn't love in this song. Oh, the roller coaster of 80s angst.
You know, he goes, and then he goes to Club Tropicana. Kevin Pike figures out things there. He goes, "This is what I'm about." So why?
Is it Kevin?
It's
Kevin. It's someone Pike,
it's someone,
I don't think it's Kevin.
Tony Pike. It's Tony Pike. It's Tony Pike. Like, literally, Dori, we are such Wham Uber nerds. I can tell you, nobody picked up that we called him the wrong name.
I picked it up.
I mean, it'd be like, it is such a small cross-section of people that are going to firstly know who he is, and secondly, pick up that is the wrong name. Of course, we're talking about a man called Tony Pike. He owned a resort where a lot of the 80s artists used to go to be hedonistic. Just think Grace Jones once almost burnt the place down. It was that sort of place. he claims to have a medical condition that makes his penis too big, or I don't know what. It's a thing.
His Wang is chunged, is all I'm going to say.
Very much so. If you actually watch the Club Tropicana music video, the man behind the bar without the shirt and the handkerchief around his neck and the hat, that's Tony Pie.
And the glorious mustache.
Oh, what a mustache. What a mustache that no doubt smelt of Brut and Frankfurters.
This show has just become smell-o-vision. You can scratch and sniff it.
Yes. The latest new video game in the arcade. What I'm trying to get to is a legitimate point that we have been teased for ages about various Wham documentaries. Everyone's making a friggin' Wham documentary. Netflix said a year ago they're making a Wham documentary. Big time now, Music from the Edge of Heaven, the Wham compilation of their top-selling singles, which basically every Wham song ever. That is out. I was very tempted to order the vinyl the other day, but I've held out. I've got all the albums. I got all the albums on vinyl. That was my first collection, and then of course I get all the albums on vinyl. Some of them originals from the 80s, not reprints, and then they release something new. So I'm like, okay, thank you. You got me.
I've still got all mine somewhere. I don't know where, but I definitely still have all my original vinyls from the 80s.
Good. I'm glad.
I would never have given them away.
No, of course. Why must you? Why must you? So then finally, they have announced and given a date for the documentary called Wham. It is produced by the creator of the guy who did the Fire Festival documentary. And I believe this is the one Andrew Ridgley's involved in. And it'll be hitting Netflix on the 5th of July.
That's soon.
Yes.
It's not too far away.
So it's released
just over a month.
40 years to the day that of Wham's debut album, Fantastic. So 40 years to the day. That's why they chose that specific date. And it's basically the story of Wham. With never before seen footage.
So now this is an opportunity to speak to Andrew because surely he'll want to talk about this.
But Dori, we heard when it was asked how much, and we said, no, you don't have to pay us. We'll do it for free. And we never heard back. I'm starting to think he wanted money.
Maybe he wanted us to pay him.
I think so, because I was like, we don't charge for interviews. So I'm starting to think the silence and lack of response meant he wanted some money.
Yeah, but now, and I think it's worth trying again.
We can keep trying. Like maybe we know someone at Netflix South Africa that could like set it up. Like,
I mean, could you not just slide into his DMs on the Instagram?
Oh, we have. I've been blocked. I got blocked.
Are you serious?
When he used to,
what did you do?
I can't remember. I think I said a thing about his cat. So, he used to do the, we're talking about Andrew Ridgley, of course. When he used to do the Instagram lives during lockdown, I think it was called Speaksies.
Yes.
And his cat was the star. He had this lovely ginger cat. I don't know. I was always up in his DMs. So I don't know. I cannot DM him anymore. Maybe we should.
Well, then I guess I'm going to have to try.
You try. But what I think we should do is the producer of this, right? Producers love talking. The creator, the guy who did the Fire Festival. Maybe we go to him first because he'll be like, oh, worldwide, this novel, this is cool. And then we try to, and then he goes, I can vouch for them. Even though they do interviews for free. His name's Chris Smith. Chris Smith.
What a generic name.
Yeah. Probably not a real. Okay. He's definitely AI. So who knows if he's there? But maybe that's our road to Ridgley. That's
the road to Ridgley.
That's the road to Ridgley. And listen, he'll sniff out a scam. He did the Fire Festival. He'll know if it's true or not. So he'll sniff us out instantly. But that is July 5th. So I think we should ask Barrett to do it because you and I will both not.
Oh, God.
We won't do it.
And Barrett's got the cred. He's got like the CV now of all the artists that he has interviewed.
He does.
He's interviewed everyone.
He does. He's prolific.
Interviewing everyone.
I mean, like, if you don't know our friend, Celeb Savant, started out on the show, then spun off on his own show. He's just getting access to so many people. He interviews them all. I think his one this week, Big Mountain, his new episode. No, is it Big Mountain? Big Country. Big Mountain was the reggae guys. I'm not making this up.
You're getting your big things confused.
Yeah, it's all my wangs are chunked. So the guy from Big Country, that's who he's interviewing this week.
Yeah.
So he's got everybody. So he's got cred. He's legit. Sophie Ellis Baxter's up in his DMs. He knows people. So that's the way to go. So we'll set him a challenge. I hope he's listening, because then we got to tell him separately. I'll do some extra work. So Barrett, if you're listening to this, can you try to set it up?
Chris
Smith. Very easy to find.
Probably only one in the world.
Yeah, there's probably only one.
Easy to find.
Easy to find, Mr. Chris Smith. So we said earlier, you said the sound between a couple of songs was very similar.
Yeah.
And do you watch Eurovision at all? The festival.
I really wanted to, and A, I forgot.
Yeah.
And B, I didn't actually know where to watch it, which I know is pathetic, and I should have just Googled.
Yeah.
But I did forget, because if I had remembered, I would have probably Googled and found it.
Well,
so I missed it.
That's a big thing. It's one of those things that when you're on like Instagram or Twitter on a Eurovision night, you suddenly know it's Eurovision, because suddenly there's a whole bunch of weird stuff.
And I was working. I think I was working for those, what was it, like 3 days?
Yes.
Like solidly. And I missed life for those 3 days. And then emerged from the office, and everyone was like, oh, guess who won Eurovision? I was like, oh no. I missed it.
Exactly what's going on. So it's Eurovision, people from around Europe, Australia's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Australia's in it.
What?
I don't know.
How did that happen?
Who knows? I don't know.
Is Australia identifying as European?
It is. It identifies as Europe. So good for them.
Okay.
But their entry played.
Yeah.
They're called a Perth synth metal band called Voyager. That was Australia's entry. Okay. So they synth metal, and they played on stage with a keytar. So suddenly people go, what is this? Like, we don't know what this is now. If you remember back.
It looks like a keyboard. It looks like a guitar.
As a guitar.
What could it be?
Exactly. It's neither. Okay. And he goes, children, sit down. Let us talk to you about the 80s. Back in the 80s, the keytar was everywhere, especially on New Age bands. New Age bands loved a keytar because it wasn't...
Why wasn't it called the keyboard?
Well, it is now. From henceforth, it is the keyboard. Fuck, that's great. Imagine that brainstorm. Imagine the brainstorm. It's like, I got something here. It's part guitar, part keyboard. The keytar.
I call it the keyboard. The keyboard.
The keyboard.
I think we could do better than that.
Is that the only option? Well, keytar, that's it. Print it. Keyboard. And it is what it is. It's half guitar, half keyboard, or half keyboard, half guitar. It sounds like it's a keyboard, but that you hold, right? That's the only thing. So, New Age
portable piano.
It's a portable piano, but more portable than a keyboard because you can strap it around you.
Even more portable than a keyboard. It's a handheld piano.
It's a handheld piano. Now, it's aesthetically, New Age bands love them, right? Devo.
Right.
Devo loved a keytar, right? When they were whipping it. So easy to whip, you know, because you can still play the keyboard with one hand and just whip it with the other one. And it was huge in the 80s. It was kind of like in that era of the synthesizer. They were able to make that big synthesizer smaller, do all the effects. Now you had a bit of a thing. You were a New Age band, but you could like rock out, so you could look like a rock band that you're playing a guitar. And it had its moment. And then, you know, other technology moved on, and the keytar just didn't follow with it because people went, this thing is weird and it's lame and If you called it the keyboard, we'd still be playing it today. But they went with keytar. Lady Gaga.
Did it come with a free piano tie if you bought one?
That would have been great. Or did you ever get the little, back in the 80s, the little pocket piano with the little black rubber buttons? Or you got it, was about the size of probably the size of a cell phone right now. And it was an actual little piano, but it was like a little keyboard piano, but you kept in your pocket. Like whenever you just want to play like Take On Me. Oh, that's great. This is like...
right.
Yeah, just, you just want to whip out
because we all know how to do that.
No, we do. You just want to whip out your little pocket piano and play Take On Me. Who doesn't? So Lady Gaga apparently uses one in her concerts. She's made it a kind of a thing because she's got the whole retro kitsch type of thing going on.
Quiche, retro quiche.
Retro quiche.
It's a quiche, but it was made years ago and it's still there. No one's eaten it.
And it tastes like a turkey.
It tastes like vinegar that's going to make your tongue shrink to nothing.
Oh my God. I actually always wanted to open a bakery called Kitsch Quiche. Or quiche kitsch, like either. Because the whole keytar type of thing, we're in that mode. So that was the moment that the keytar had in its son. And, thank you, Thomas Dolby. Thank you, Aha, for doing what you could do with the keytar. And it made me go look for 10 signature 80s songs that had an excellent keytar riff. Do you want to hear some of them?
Oh, I do.
Obviously, Europe, The Final Countdown. The most iconic.
Yes.
The second one on this list, I'm going to close out the song with it. Van Halen, Jump. Right? So far.
Of course, yes.
Yes. Not very keytar bands. Prince in 1999. Bon Jovi used it in Runaway. Excellent keytar riff.
Okay.
Night Ranger, Sister Christian. Pardon?
Oh.
Yes.
We should play that song sometime. It's really good.
We should play it. Maybe we should do a double header with Bruce Hornsby, The Way It Is. That song always makes
Bruce
me think
Hornsby.
of...
Wasn't Bruce Hornsby playing a real piano?
Maybe in studio, but on stage, definitely keytar. And that song always reminds me of Baywatch. I think the intro is the same.
You hear Bruce Hornsby and you think of voluptuous woman running on the beach in red swimming costume.
More the half. Second David Hasselhoff mentioned today. You're Keith Hornsby. I think.
Can we get a third? Can we
get a third? Time is running out. I called him Keith Hornsby. May as well. Who gives a shit? Betty Davis Eyes. That I was
Gary Pike.
Betty Davis Eyes. I was in my 30s until I realized it was not Rod Stewart singing that song. Bruce Springsteen played it on Dancing in the Dark. I think this is a very literal article about the use of the keytar because I'm pretty sure all of these were pianos.
I think so. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they were specifically keytars.
Although
they were things with keys.
I'm going to play out with Separate Ways by Journey. I've seen the music video.
Ooh.
There is a keytar. So I think...
this one we know for sure is legit.
This one we know for sure. And Van Halen Jump. They did use a keytar as well. So I think that list was kind of neither here nor there. Like this show, basically.
This show was all over the place.
It's really what you see what happens. You may have noticed we didn't do movie recommendations this week. And I think movie recommendations center us. It gives us what they say, true north. It gives us a North Star. It's
the anchor that keeps us calm.
It is the anchor. We've been taught slap chips, Russians filled with pig knuckles. Who knows what's going on that 80 show? Whatever was going on, you can find everything that 80 show SA Facebook page. Movie recommendations should be back next week. Who knows, Dori? Who knows what's going on?
I'll try. I'll try. That's all I can do. I can try.
Have we run out of 80s movies to watch?
No, not even close. Not even close.
On that note,
yes,
Amazon Prime has got Masters of the Universe.
Okay. I don't currently have Amazon Prime.
Okay.
But
The original
I'll make a
Master
plan.
of the Universe. It has been digitally remastered. Dolph Lundgren's
Ooh.
nipples.
Remastered of the universe. Nice.
Jesus. It really is. I mean, Dori, thanks for joining me, but I'm not so sure.
I'll show myself out. I'll show myself out.
Goodbye.
Bye.